Good morning. How's everybody in St. Louis doing? All right. Do you like this early summer we're getting? Yeah, since we had a late winter, now we have an early summer. My name is Reverend Mary Jean DeRusha. I want to welcome you from around the world that have tuned in either this morning or sometime during the day or whenever you tune in. I just want to welcome you and invite people. People are still asking, are we open on Sunday? Yes, we are open on Sunday. If you want to come in, you can come and join us in person. And today, after the celebration, we have sandwiches and salad. And Larry made it this morning. I'll be serving it. So if you want to stay for that, but you'll hear about that in the announcements. Also, though, I want to tell you, Eve Malsman, the most famous artist in Mexico, is back in town, and she has made these amazing coasters, which I ordered online and would be paying shipping, but you all don't have to pay shipping because they're out in the lobby today, and so you can get your coasters. They're really cool. Actually, we have lots of things out in the lobby you'll hear about in a few minutes, but I'm just glad that you're here today. We have Emerson back who will be singing. Yay. Oh yeah, hi Emerson. He'll be in here in a few minutes. Oh, and we have Marcia Shear who's back from traveling around the country. And who else do we have back from? Diane Grayson was on vacation. Yay. Just tell me if you've been on vacation. Write your name down on this list and I'll do a shout out. So my shout out is to everybody that's at home thinking they're on vacation. Also, I want to acknowledge I had a great nephew who graduated from Rolla College with in 3 years, got his degree, and already has been hired by Boeing. I mean, he's, to me, still this little kid, and he just graduated in 3 years. He's brilliant. So that was really cool. Yeah. So we have announcements by Joni Alsop. She's probably just going to repeat a couple of the things I said. Here, Joni, here's your microphone.
All right. Ooh, the other one's missing. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Good. As Mary Jean said, come to the Connections Cafe after service. We have chicken salad, egg salad sandwiches, Caesar salad, all kinds of salad. It's a donation of $10. However, nobody is turned away. We'd love to have some fellowship and just connect with everybody again. Hi, Emerson. Michelle Conley-Brown is going to be hosting her Reiki Healing Circle on Friday, May 27th at 7 o'clock. It's only $20. Michelle will demonstrate Reiki and allow your body to open to healing. You can sign up in the bookstore or online. If you haven't experienced it, it's fabulous. You're welcome to come to the DeRusha's home on Memorial Day weekend on Sunday, May 29th. Bring a dish or something to barbecue and a beverage. Coffee, tea, and water will be available. It'll be right after the celebration on Sunday. If you need the address, it's in the lobby. Dress is casual. Please wear flat shoes or tennis shoes so there's not holes in the new floor. We all can't wait to see the new house. So that'll be a fun party for Memorial Day weekend. Marsha Walton is presenting the class From Whence We Came for 10 weeks, starting on Tuesday, June 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. This class is all about the ideas and principles that gave birth to the New Thought movement and our philosophy. Tuition is only $200. Sign up in the bookstore. If you're thinking about being a practitioner or really wanting to know more about science of mind, this is a great class and a required class, so we really encourage you to check it out. We have a big event coming up on Saturday, June 25th, so mark your calendars. There'll be lots of terrific music by people that you know, and many more who you don't know, but you will know. Plus our great Phyllis as MC. It'll be out in the parking lot from 1 to 6 p.m. on June 29th. June 25th. Don't change the date. Tickets are $25 available on our website, and all proceeds go to the Red Cross to benefit Ukraine. Be sure to pick up one of the flyers and pass them out to people you know, and a lawn chair for the concert. So sign up in the lobby for the service this Thursday, May 19th from 10 to 3 as we reorganize our storerooms. Lunch will be provided, but we really need your help in order to get everything kind of reorganized and ready to go for the rest of the year. As Mary Jean said, we have coasters by Eve in the lobby for only $20 for a set of 4. You can have original artwork by Eve. And there's no shipping if you get it while she's here. What advantage. We also have African violets that were donated by Karen Conley, Michelle's mother. They're only $5. They're beautiful. There's a bunch out there. And we're also looking for some support for the bookstore for the second and third Sundays from 12 to 12:30. If you're interested, Christine Blickham will give you training for a couple weeks so that you're ready to fly on your own. So if you're interested, again, sign up in the lobby. A lot of hands make for little work for everybody. Let's see, we also have bracelets in the bookstore for Ukraine. I have mine. There's all kinds of beautiful ones that Anna has made. We also have small sizes now, and Anna's raised a lot of money for Ukraine with this effort. So pick some up for yourself and your friends. So lastly, if we have any first-timers here, please raise your hand. We have a gift for you. Any first-timers? Old-timers. Well, not today. So now that we're reopened, you're encouraged to bring your friends. All right. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Marcia. Good morning. I'm a member of the prayer team here at the center and also a practitioner, and it is my honor to lead us in prayer this morning. So would you dim the lights for me a little bit, Marcia? Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I just invite you to close your eyes. Put both your feet on the floor. And take in a deep, deep belly breath. Feel your body in your chair and be present right here, right now, because presence is where we connect with the divine, that divine spark within each and every one of us, that one power, the one presence, the one life that lives in us, through us, and as us. That power and presence is love, it is happiness, it is peace, it is joy, it is harmony. And it is our very essence. I think of that essence as a light, as an inner light that each one of us has. Some lights may be brighter than other lights. Some may be a spark, some may be a bonfire, but we all, every human being on this planet, has that light within. And I know right now that as we turn up our lights, we illuminate more than just our own life. We illuminate lives all around the world. And as my light shines brighter and as your light shines brighter, everyone's light sparks a little bit more. So regardless of what might be covering up that light inside some people, the light always overcomes the dark. So let's shine our lights as brightly as we possibly can in our thoughts, in our words, and in our actions. And that will change the world. I'd like to close this prayer just with a moment of gratitude. Gratitude for this glorious day. gratitude for this congregation, our ministers, this teaching of the truth of who we are, knowing that we are all on a unique path to awakening, but the end of that path is exactly the same for each and every one of us. Knowing this to be so, knowing that our lights are shining brightly, I release my word into the law of mind that always says yes. I freely let it go with certainty that it is done. And as we say together, and so it is. Namaste.
Ooh. They wanted to see my little house on the prairie dress, didn't you? 'Cause that's really bright. Maybe you could turn the spots down just a little bit, because if I have better, thank you. Do I look like I come from the little house on the prairie? Yeah. And I happen to match our singer today, which I know a lot of you are so excited to hear. But right now we have a thought for the day on the screen, and I'll read it to you, and you can read along with me. When you arise in the morning, think of what a special privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. Now, you want to read it one more time? Okay. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. That's beautiful. We had an amazing wedding here yesterday, and Skip Olson, who is a licensed minister, performed the ceremony, his first one ever. Yeah, and it was beautiful. It was really neat. And today, our music was the music yesterday at the wedding. A lot of you have known Emerson. He was here last summer, and some of you don't know him. So when Larry and I went to Barra de Navidad for 6 weeks in January, every week we would go and listen to Emerson sing, either at the huge resort to where he's the most popular singer in the world there, and he also sings at this amazing artistic restaurant, and it was just so fun. Emerson is just so filled with love. Will you give a St. Louis welcome back to Emerson?
I'm back. Feel good back in home. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see you, everyone. And all the thing I need to do and I need to say is thanks. Thank you, everyone, and thanks to life for letting me be here now. You know, I have a hard time, my nice welcome to USA, but I'm happy to be here. And the song that I play is called Gracias a la Vida. Thanks to the life for everything we have. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio dos luceros que cuando los abro perfecto distingo lo negro del blanco y en el alto cielo su fondo estrellado y en las multitudes a la mujer que yo amo. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado la marcha de mis pies cansados, con ellos anduve ciudades y charcos, playas y desiertos, montañas y llanos, y la casa tuya, tu calle y tu patio. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio el corazón que agita su marco cuando miro el fruto del cerebro humano, cuando miro al bueno tan lejos del malo, cuando miro el fondo de tus ojos claros. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado la risa y me ha dado el llanto, así yo distingo dicha de quebranto, los dos materiales que forman mi canto, el canto de ustedes que es el mismo canto, el canto de todos que es mi propio canto. Gracias a la vida, gracias a la vida. Thank you.
My goodness, welcome back. He had a little bit of trouble at the Houston airport coming back. As you can imagine, it's Texas. They do everything different. So let's everybody stand up for a moment. And now greet somebody near you and say, hi, how are you? How have you been? What have you been up to? Yeah. Welcome. For those of you who are online in St. Louis, come down and join us. If you're passing through, come on down. We'd love to see you. So have a seat. Unless you want to stand for the whole service. Yeah, that'd be okay, right? So today I'm talking about, it's a quote from Ernest Holmes. It's called, the quote is, everybody has a gift to give, a lesson to learn, and a debt to pay. And he says, don't get them out of order. Yeah, so he's really giving us a lesson in a very short, sweet quote there. Everybody has a gift to give. First of all, let's clear something up. Your life doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the universe. It took 13.8 billion years to create you. So it could be aware of itself. So you have a gift to give. It's a special gift to give. Everybody has a special gift to give. So many of us wander around this planet trying to figure out who we are and where we're going and what's the gift we have to give. And the truth of the matter is, the gift you have is what's called a natural endowment. Endowment means to thrive and prosper from. And so your gift is what you thrive and prosper from. And that gift isn't one of those talents or skills or things you learn. It's greater than that. It's who you are and what you bring to what you give. Now, we all know that giving is critically important. Without giving, nothing survives. It's also critically important that we receive. So the gift to give is the first thing you have to concentrate on. And the second thing is the lesson. And the importance about the lesson is, if you're not giving your gift, that's your lesson. So then what do you do with the lesson? You learn, you study, you figure out what's going on. Here's what we typically do. Inside here is what I call a three-ring circus. Yes? Yeah. Oh my gosh, if you went to a circus like that, you'd be all over the place. And we don't know what to do with that circus. It just keeps going on. And the older we get, there seems to be more acts that show up. I'm like, what? Wow. Yeah. So what we tend to do is we figure out that we're going to fix this inside by fixing what's outside. It doesn't work that way. That's like having a messy house with pizza everywhere and beer bottles everywhere and trash on the floors, and you say, I'm going to clean this up, and you go outside and you mow the lawn. Does that make any sense? No. But we keep doing that. We keep looking outside, and we keep trying to manipulate the outer world to make it correspond to something we think it's supposed to be in here. As Michael Singer says, it's not always pleasant in here, but you're in here, so you better figure out a way to make it pleasant. And if that circus is playing, how do we make it better? The way to make it better is take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Imagine the nicest thing that's happened to you in your life. Maybe it's the birth of a child, marriage, whatever the event. Imagine that. What's it feel like inside? And I want you to amplify that feeling. Make it stronger. Make it stronger. Feel that within you. Isn't that nice? That feeling that you have from that experience, you can have that all the time. You can open your eyes now. You can have it all the time. Well, how do you have it all the time? The thing about it is, we have to learn how this mind really works. What was Ernest Holmes all about? It was all about having a trained mind. A trained mind, he says, is more important than an untrained mind. And that's absolutely for sure. When your mind goes sideways, where do you go? Sideways. Yeah, we just follow the mind wherever it wants to go. And we have to stop doing that. But we have to recognize that there's something greater inside, because something is watching the three-ring circus. Yes? What is it that's listening to your thoughts? What is it that's watching the three-ring circus? What is that which is experiencing? That's awareness. That's awareness. This is the most important thing you'll ever learn. Awareness. Awareness. That's who you are. Awareness is aware of all your experiences. It's aware of your thoughts. It's aware of your body and everything that's going on in your body. It's aware of all these experiences out here. Quantum physics, that really strange branch of physics and science, has got some really phenomenal kinds of things going on right now. For example, how many of you understand what the observer effect is? Okay, so when you observe something, it changes. Actually, the observer effect says when you observe something, it comes into existence. Now, it comes into existence, and traditional science would say the appearance is the thing itself. Now we know the appearance is not the thing itself. The thing itself comes with the appearance. That's pretty weird, because what does that say? It says, well, I see all of you here, and I know this is here. I can feel everybody here. But when I turn around, are you there? Well, wait a minute. You didn't appear over here. So quantum physics has a few paradoxes that it needs to figure out, but it tells us something. It tells us that all of this is an appearance. Appearances can what? Be changed. So what Ernest Holmes says, if you turn away from the appearance that you see, you hear, you feel, you taste, you touch, the situation, the circumstance, when you turn away from it, you're providing yourself some space to allow it to change. When you turn away from the appearance, and then you hold a stronger feeling thought of what you want to see, then when you turn back, that will begin to change that experience. The observer effect, as quoted by Ernest Holmes back in the 1920s. Back in the 1920s was a great time for Ernest to be around, because it was all the new thought was just blossoming like crazy, and so was quantum physics. Quantum physics took off, and it took almost 60 years for people to really understand what it was and what it does. But the gift you have to give and the lesson you have to learn, one of the lessons is all that nonsense that's going on in your head is taking up a lot of room. That circus takes up a lot of room inside. If you don't believe that you're worthy, that takes up maybe 10 or 20%. If you don't think you can do it, that's taking 10 or 20% up. If you're having negative thoughts about who you are, there's another 10 or 20%. Pretty soon, you got like 80% negative stuff going on, and maybe 20% or 10%, or in most cases 5 or 6% for us, of what's working, who you really are, the positive. Are you all positive? Yes. Are you sure you're positive? Yes. How do you know you're sure you're positive? Well, then who's in charge? Are you in charge? You want your mind to be in charge, or do you want to be in charge? Because it makes a big difference. That's like the dog chasing its tail. The tail's in charge, not the dog. So he's saying that you have a gift to give, and you need to bring that gift to the planet, because the planet you were created, it kind of reminds me of Pinocchio. The story of Pinocchio, he wanted to know why he was created, and when he asked, what was the fairy, the blue fairy or something, that said, why was I created? And the blue fairy says, you will never know that unless you ask the creator, which is Geppetto, right? So it's the same thing here. The only way you're going to know what your purpose is by asking the creator, asking God, asking consciousness, asking spirit, however you choose to language it. That power which is greater than anything we could possibly imagine. If we actually saw from a quantum physics standpoint what the world looks like, the actual world looks like, it would be too much for us. We'd go crazy, because it doesn't look anything like what you see. What you see is a conforming of cultural things. It's a conforming of the way the brain happens to work. The brain is more about sifting out information than it is about delivering information. It has to. I liken it to this. We're born inside of an airplane that has no windows. You're the pilot. What are you going to be looking at? The dashboard. The dashboard tells you what's going on outside, but you don't see what's going on outside. Well, all this appearance here, this is my dashboard. But if I really saw what was out there, it would be very different. We know this from experiments that have been going on now for the last 5 or 6 years in Norway. The experiment is that they give us a dose of psilocybin, controlled dose, to an individual. And that individual is hooked up to a brain scan and an EEG so that they can monitor everything that's going on. As the individual begins to have the experience internally of what's going on from the psilocybin, which is usually a big hallucination, right? We know from LSD and all what that, well, if you were around in the 60s, you would know what that is. Well, here's the interesting thing. In the brain world, we say the metabolism of the brain tells us what the activity is going on in the brain. So you would expect with all that going on, the visuals internally, the feeling internally, that there would be this enormous bump in the brain, in its activity. Actually, the reverse is what happens. The brain begins to shut down all of its various functions. What happens when it breaks down or shuts down these functions? It opens up to a different reality. The experience then is that the boundaries that are normally there, that are functioning because of our brain circuitry, are dropping away. The boundaries dropping away allow reality itself to begin to show itself. Are you ready for a hallucinogenic experience? You might not come back. The other part that's really interesting is the people that were in these studies had this enormous sense of peace, as if somebody, for example, who had passed and come back, that sense of peace that you never lose. They had that sense of peace. Here's the issue. The issue is you can't take psilocybin your entire life because you won't be able to function in the world. You won't know what's going on. You about probably sit in a chair for the rest of your life and just experience what's happening. Yogananda, the famous Yogananda, said when he was a youngster and he was looking for his guru in India, that he came across a man who he thought was his guru, and he kept saying, "You're my guru, you're my guru." And the man said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." And he says, "I want to experience enlightenment." And the man said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, I'm sure." He said, "Okay." And he gave him an experience of enlightenment, and it began to fry his brain. Basically, he was having so much problem with his body that he yelled for it to stop. And the man said, "Until you're ready, you don't want enlightenment." Because it's the exact same thing as the psilocybin. What happens is all the boundaries go down and the world floods in its own reality, not in the appearance that we're looking at. Is that crazy enough for you? Yeah. So you have a gift to give and you have a lesson to learn. You want to learn the lesson? The lessons are read the Science of Mind textbook, come to the classes, learn how to manage and control the mind that wants to be out of control and that's controlled you for a long time. Who's controlling you? What are all those thoughts that are in your subconscious mind? All the thoughts of all the things that have gone on in television, in the newspapers, out there in the world, all the stories and the gossip that's been going on, all that stuff sits in there and it begins to percolate and show up at some point. It also creates internal conflict. That internal conflict that's going on is causing that sense of uneasiness. That's like trying to live in that house where there's pizza everywhere and there's beer cans. You're slipping around on the pizza trying to get food. There's a little anecdote here. When I was in high school, I asked this girl out on a date, and she said, come pick me up. I was in San Diego, and she was living in Coronado, which is the kind of the isthmus there, and she was near the Del Coronado Hotel. Her father was an admiral in the Navy. So I went to pick her up, and this beautiful old Victorian house, knocked on the door, and when I opened the door, she greeted me, and she says, come on in, I'm not ready yet. As I walked in, there was a stack of dishes on the floor about this high, all dirty. And then there were dirty clothes in piles around the living room. Every room in the house that I went to had stacks of stuff. It was like they use it once and throw it on the floor. And I was like, what have I gotten myself into? She came out, she was perfectly dressed. She says, my father is gone for 6 or 8 months. My brothers don't clean the house up, and my mother is visiting her family, so the house is trashed. I said, you don't have to tell me. I get it. That's the way our inner life is like. You got all this stuff going on in there that you don't need. And certainly, a lot of it you don't want. So you have the gift to give, a lesson to learn, and the debt to pay. What's this debt? What would that be? You're creating a debt in the universe by not giving your gift. You were created to give your gift. If you're not giving it, there's a debt in the universe. Yes? Makes sense? So what are you doing? You giving your gift or not? The power of who you are is enormous when we recognize it. That's what all the great saints have said since the beginning of time. But the you they're talking about is not your personality. It's not, because that you actually doesn't exist, does it? That's just thoughts, feelings, sensations, bodily experience. I look at pictures of myself when I was a kid, and I don't know who that was. I look at me when I was a teenager, and I go, that is nothing like what I look like as a kid. I even look at myself 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and that's not me. Who is that? And I think of what I was thinking about during those times is not the same as what I'm thinking about now. We're changing all the time. Personality is just a collection of habits, essentially. The habit of being yourself. Joe Dispenza, he says, you'd like to break that habit? Well, that's exactly what this, how should I say, this is exactly the way spirituality wants you to understand that you are the capital Y you. You has a body. And actually that you is the common consciousness of everything. You're not conscious, it's conscious through you. So that capital Y is who you are. When you know that, then this circus out here that's going on is no longer the circus in here that's going on. You become, as in psychology we would say, disassociated. In India, the term is non-attached. When you become attached, the personality grabs hold of whatever that is, and then your life depends upon that. How many of you have had relationships like that? It's called codependence. And you gotta let go. You gotta let go. So you can discover who you are. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Put your awareness in your heart. Feel the beating of your heart. Is that who you are? Notice your stomach. What's it feel? What's the sensations that's going on now? Is that who you are? Notice your thoughts. Like the one you're going, what is he doing now? Is that who you are? So if you're not your body and you're not this mind and you're not the brain and everything is an appearance, where are you? Who are you? Take a breath, come back. I want to give you a little story. A man loved to go to the horse race track, and he heard this great story. And he said, who is this horse named Pio? This is in France. The guy said, well, you know, he was one of the ones that scratched. He says, but he's here a lot. And sometimes he wins and sometimes he doesn't. He says, I'm just amazed. But the horse is strange because in the winner's circle even, it'll gravitate to somebody in the crowd. It'll just push its way through till it gets to that one person for whatever reason. Well, over time, people began to watch this more and more. This horse would go to somebody in the crowd, whatever was going on. One time, it stopped racing and went over to somebody who was in the winner's circle area and went up to it and nudged it. Well, what they later found was he could sense when somebody had cancer. And so the owner decided we should do something with him. So he talked to the people at the hospital locally there in France and said, I'd love to bring the horse to see what he experiences in this situation. Turns out, of course, they had to disinfect the horse. The horse would go into the hospital, walk through, can you imagine? The aisle, would you be, there's a horse coming down the aisle in the hospital. You go, am I at the vet's? What's going on? He would find a particular room and he would raise his leg and he would stomp. In that room is somebody who ultimately had cancer, but they didn't know yet. And they wanted to know how he knew about this. They couldn't understand it, but in cases where a person was terminal and they were going to pass within a day or so, the horse would go to the room and it would go over by the person and it would nudge it and put its head in their lap until they passed. He wouldn't move. He wouldn't go out to the bathroom, nothing. He would just be there. Astonishing. So they discovered that in 2006. And that horse, as far as I know, is still doing that. Over 1,000 people have had their cancer detected before the doctors knew. Is that astonishing? Not only is it astonishing, but it tells us that sentient creatures, not only ourselves, have compassion for each other. The horse, in many cases, has more compassion than people do. Dogs, animals, they have so much compassion for each other. And yet, they don't need this brain that we use, this mind that we use. You have more power within you than anything in the universe, because you have the power to change the universe. How do you know that? Because consciousness is all there is. And if consciousness is all there is, you're a part of consciousness. When you change, consciousness changes. It's like ripples. The Hopis called it the web of creation, this mother spider web of creation. And when you move that little thread on one side, all the threads of that web move. That's what consciousness is like. You have that power. Start now to understand how to control your mind, to control your thoughts. Let go of all the negative things that are going on. You can do it. You have the power to do it. There have been millions of people that have done it before. And you can experience a peace within you that passes understanding. The little one knows, right? Yeah. They know inherently because they haven't been trained out of it yet. You're special. You have a gift to give this universe. Don't create another debt. Agreed? Namaste. Thank you. Take a breath. How many of you meditate? Yeah, that's great. It's a good way to start getting into a habit that creates more peace and gets rid of that circus that's going on, right? By the way, anything that they call meditation that requires an effort isn't meditation. It's the opposite. Meditation is effortless. Okay, would the prosperity receivers come forward, please? How many of you are givers in this universe? Givers everywhere. We give because we know we're all connected, yes? We are all connected. What we do in one place affects what we do in another place and what somebody else does in another place, just like I was talking about. Same thing is true, money circulates. You know, it doesn't do anybody any good if your money is always in your wallet. It's not doing anything. So get all your money out of your wallet. Just bring it down forward. We'll give it the treatment work. Okay, never mind. Mary Jean's frowning at me now. All right, a lot of you are automatic givers, and we bless you for that. And let's bless all the gifts. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, recognize the power you have within you. The gift you give the world is important. The gift you give the sinner is important. We bless the gift, the giver, and the entire world so that peace will be here now. And so it is. Would you like to hear Emerson again? Come on, would you like to hear Emerson again? Hey, all right, great. Emerson, in Mexico, it was amazing to watch him play, and the songs he sang, it's like he's got an endless list of songs that he can play. It's truly amazing. Thank you, Emerson.
Give. And I need to say thanks again for let me play and share my music. And thanks Deborah. Deborah is not here. Okay, thanks Deborah for include me. And the next song is a gift for my dear friend, mi amigo, my bro, for Skip. This is for you.
Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Oh, you're alive. You've been only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. Oh, you're alive. You've been only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light, into the dirt black night. Blackbirds singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. Oh, you're alive. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light, into the black night, black night, black night. You've been only waiting for this moment to be free. You've been only waiting for this moment to be free.
How'd you like that? I want to thank Carlos Shear. He did an amazing job waiting on everybody at the reception last night that was over at Ruth Crisp, and he was amazing. So thank you for that. Could we turn the lights down a little bit? Let's move into a meditation. As Sherry creates the cathedral of love and light and healing right now, just take a deep breath. And know that power and presence of life itself is your life. If anyone's on the prayer team and they'd like to come up and surround and send your energies out, please come up whenever you can. And if there is somebody that you would like to put in prayer to know the healing and know the truth of who they are, call their name out. Call their name out now. Todd, Tammy. Knowing that power and presence, that divine energy, that intelligence knows exactly what that person needs for their greater healing. And the healing begins with knowing the truth. That we are divine, that life is magnificent, that we are here representing that power and presence of spirit. So call out your own name, Mary Jean, so that I know the truth about each person here and each person watching at home, that divine energy of wholeness is your life right now. And that right now we know what our gift is to give. we open up to that divine intelligence and maybe asking, am I giving my gift? Have I gotten lazy and tired? Am I willing to step back up and give my gift? Am I willing to be in service to this planet? Am I willing to love? Am I willing to love those that up until now haven't loved me? Am I willing to love those that up until now I haven't found worthy of my love? Are we ready to let go of that monkey mind thinking and stand in the light of truth? I am love. I am love. That power and presence of spirit right now works through our very thoughts. I am love. I give my gift joyously and in love. That power, that presence moves me forward for greater good, for myself and this planet. I bless all those that have been traumatized this year by war, by killings. My heart goes out to the families and friends. As we resolve to be loving, to be kind. So I bless each one of us on this path of spirituality, this path of the divine, the path that we have been pulled into, giving thanks. I let it be. And as we say together, and so it is. Thank you, Sherry. Carla, thank you for bringing your granddaughter to pray with us. Oh, I forgot, it's your great-granddaughter. Isn't that, I know. Very great. So we have one more song. Yeah, by Emerson. Yeah. So what are you doing now? Are you doing my favorite song? Or
You want it's okay?
it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then we'll come into Scott Hall afterwards for some lunch, and so we can talk and connect with you. You can stand up if you want.
Yeah.
Connect with one person you don't know when this is over. Go up to them and say, hi, glad you're here. Okay,
Sí, bueno,
good.
sí. Sound there? Sí.
Para bailar la bamba, hey, para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia. Uy, una poca de gracia pa' mí, pa' ti. Ahí arriba y arriba, ahí arriba y arriba. Por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba, 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 hey, bamba, bamba. Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia, una poca de gracia pa' mí, pa' ti. Ahí arriba y arriba, ahí arriba y arriba. Por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba, bamba, sing it. Have a wonderful Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Love you. Thank you so much. My best wish. Woo! Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Tony, our
Thank you so
closing
much.
affirmation. This is our affirmation for this month. There are also little cards in the lobby you can take home with you. Let's say it together. I bring brilliance out of chaos, healing out of hurt, and faith out of fear.